happening guys, this is Bharat Nagpal for iGyaan.in, and today we're going to be reviewing the new Sony Xperia SP. Now Sony has been coming out with a barrage of Xperia devices after their split up with Ericsson, and now the Xperia lineup has picked up quite some steam in the Android market space. The Xperia SP is one such device. For a price range of about 24,000 rupees, the Sony Xperia SP packs in quite a lot under the hood and brings excellent experience into the Android market space. Let's talk about the build quality and the hardware on the inside. The Sony Xperia SP is nicely made. It fits well in the hand. On the back you've got this soft touch finish back panel, which is removable as well. So you can remove it to access your memory card slot and your SIM card slot, but you cannot remove your battery. The buttons on the side of the Xperia SP are highly tactile and give good feedback when pressed. So you will thoroughly enjoy using this device, especially the fact that it has a dedicated camera button will come in handy because the camera on this device is really nice. If we talk about the front of the device, you have a front-facing VGA camera, which seems to be our only gripe for the device. It could have had a better camera, but you have a front-facing VGA camera. If we talk about the display, we have a 4.6-inch diagonal display with a 1280 by 720 pixel resolution and a 309 pixel per inch pixel density, making it a fairly high resolution device in the Android market space. Now a little bit of the portion at the bottom is taken by the on-screen buttons, so you get slightly less for usage on the screen itself. You also have a front-facing main microphone, which is just under the main display at the bottom over here, and completely at the bottom is this light bar or this glass bar which illuminates when you're listening to music or when you're charging the device. If you try to customize it, you can also customize it to work with some applications that will turn it into a notification light if you so choose to. If we turn the device to the right, we have the dedicated camera shutter button, as I was telling you, the main power lock and unlock button, the volume rockers. Everything is located on the right side of the device. On the top you have a 3.5mm headphone jack, which seems to be working just great. No problems in inserting all sorts of headphone jacks into there, and no issues with that. On the left you have the micro USB charging and data syncing port. And if we talk about the back of the device, you have an 8-megapixel camera capable of full HD video. You also have a fairly loud speakerphone over here, a secondary noise cancelling microphone, which can also be used for audio during video recording. Now if we talk about the inside of the Xperia SP, we have a Qualcomm MSM 8960T Snapdragon processor, which is a dual-core 1.7 GHz Crate processor, and you have an Adreno 320 GPU, which makes this device excellent for performance and high-end gaming, as we demonstrated in our gaming video and our benchmarks. You have 8GB of inbuilt storage, 5.8GB is available to the user, 1GB of RAM, and you have micro SD expansion up to 32GB. If you're talking about the lock screen of the device, you can see we have the same shuttering sort of effect that we saw on the Xperia Z. So they've brought it into their standard user interface, and it is available on slightly lower end devices as well. When I say lower end, I don't mean lower end device, I mean slightly lower end compared to the Xperia Z. So you can see the shuttering effect to unlock the screen. You can slide your finger across to unlock it. You can also slide from the left to go directly into the music, and I will demonstrate that right now. So if I play some music, I can do that directly from here. I can also directly jump into the camera from here, and the camera loads up. We have a nice camera interface which lets you customize the kind of photography you're doing. So you can choose from a superior auto mode to a normal mode, video camera mode, picture effects, sweep panorama, scene selection mode, front camera, and front video. So you have all these options over here. Apart from that, you can also jump into camera settings by pressing this button on the left, and you have other settings that you can set according to your requirement. Now even though you have an 8-megapixel camera, the maximum size of the image that you can capture is 7 megapixels, which is quite strange for Sony. So this is what it is. You get a 7-megapixel picture, so technically the camera becomes a 7-megapixel camera and not an 8-megapixel camera. Let's come back out. Now once you do unlock the screen, you'll be able to see a familiar timescape sort of user interface. Sony doesn't call it timescape anymore, so you don't have timescape interface. They've also removed the pinch out feature with the wiggling icons or the wiggling widgets, so you can't jump to all your icons together. But you do have this new interface where you can quickly slide through your panels, add widgets, change wallpapers, add apps, and change the theme itself of the device. So when I say theme, you can customize it according to your requirements. So you have the silk theme, you have the Xperia theme, a sapphire theme, an emerald theme. So that will also change the color of this light bar at the bottom. Now if I go into the music player, I'll demonstrate what the light looks like. So it takes in the maximum amount of color from the cover art of the song you're listening to, and it changes the light according to that. So you can see there's a prominent blue in this, so it'll change it to blue. There's a prominent red or pink in this, it'll change it to pink. There's a prominent orange or yellow tinge into this, so it'll take orange from there. So you can see these colors changing according to the song or the cover art of the song, and then when you play the song, so when you play the song, the light becomes the equalizer, or the visualizer actually, sorry, not the equalizer. The light becomes the visualizer, and you can see what it performs like over there. If you go into the dialer, you'll see a very standard Sony style dialer. You can also jump into your contacts, your favorites, and your groups that you set up from over here. The keyboard itself is also fairly nice and easy to use. You have large keys, and you also have trace input, or Sony continuous input. So if you go into keyboard settings, you can also have gesture input, is what it's called on Sony. So you just slide your finger across and you get that input. You can also customize the skins of the keyboard as per your requirements. So just simply tapping on the settings within the keyboard, you can change your skins from a completely white to a completely black skin. So if you want that to type on the screen, you can get that. So you have a bit of customizations from Sony for the keyboard, and once you do convert it into landscape, you will see that you get a wider format keyboard that again works really well. Touchscreen is a 10-point multi-touch screen, so you won't have any problems quickly typing on the screen as well. So in terms of that, that is excellent. The browser itself on the device is also fairly fast and responsive. It works really well. You can also directly use Google Chrome, as that comes as the default browser, and it works really well. We're aware of how fast Chrome renders pages, so there's really no need to demonstrate that. So once you do load the website, it loads up quite nicely on the web page of the browser. The browser is fast and responsive, and you can easily navigate through all sorts of websites. It is fairly smooth. There is zero lag in scrolling. You can also pinch in, zoom out, etc. And of course, when you convert to landscape, everything gets converted into landscape, and you get a wider format for the display on the Xperia SP. Because of nice viewing angles from the display, browsing the internet or browsing the web should not be a problem on the Xperia SP, and you'll quite enjoy it because the device is overall fast and responsive. Again, the same thing with watching videos on the device. You do get a nice viewing angle, you get loud sound from the speakerphone. So overall, you'll have a good experience if you're watching YouTube videos or downloaded videos from the device. So because of great colors and the great quality of the display, along with great viewing angles and great audio, you'll actually enjoy watching videos on this. We also did a lot of gaming on the Xperia SP, and while gaming, we realized that the device is actually quite capable of gaming. And even on high-end games like Nova 3, we could see the smoke from the barrel of the gun, which is only turned on in extremely high-end devices which are capable of high-end gaming. So because of the GPU on this device, which is an Adreno 320 GPU, the gaming performance of this device is absolutely wonderful. We thoroughly enjoyed gaming on this device. Now Sony also adds in a bunch of things into their experience. So if I go into the gallery over here, which is now called album, you can look at all your pictures in this new format that Sony has added. Similarly for movies and Walkman, these are 4 proprietary apps that Sony adds, and you can directly link up with your devices. You also have the Walkman player that I demonstrated earlier, which also gives this effect of light at the bottom of the screen. If you go into settings over here or into the notification panel, you can see you have quick launch on the top. These widgets were earlier removed. You can also turn on data, etc. from here. If you scroll down, you can go into the full settings panel, and you have a bunch of Xperia settings over here that you can turn on according to your requirements. So you can connect it to a DualShock wireless controller, which is a PlayStation controller. You can simply connect it to that once via the cable, and then you are connected and you can play games via the USB cable, which is fantastic. You have lots of settings. You have a smart mirror link for Sony televisions, you have throw settings, you also have USB connectivity for hard drives and pen drives. So all those things are directly inbuilt into the Xperia device. You also have great power management that can turn on stamina mode, low battery mode, location based Wi-Fi, so that you save a lot of battery when you're going through with this. So Sony's actually worked up quite a bit of things for their Xperia devices. You can customize them according to your requirements and make them more useful, more practical for usage. The device is really capable and has all these features that make it excellent. You also have NFC inbuilt into the device. So in case of these Sony speakers, you can see that they are NFC equipped speakers, and the Xperia SP is an NFC equipped device. So what happens in this scenario, let me turn on NFC, it is on. So what I do is I go into my Walkman over here, and all I need to do is simply tap this NFC sticker with the NFC logo on the speaker over here, and it automatically connects. All I have to do is say yes, it pairs up, and all I need to do is press play. So this becomes a simple connection via NFC. All you need to do is simply tap, like I said earlier, and a screen pop-up shows up. The device gets connected. Once it is connected or disconnected, depending on how many times you tap it. So once you tap to connect it, and once you tap to disconnect it. So once you're connected, just simply play music, and it will play in the speakerphone. Those are some of the features of NFC. Now, NFC can also become important if you are doing any mobile payments. That essentially is not available in India, but if it does become available in some time in the future, you can be able to use mobile payments via NFC, simply authorizing your device to make payments, so you don't have to carry credit cards around. Your phone becomes your credit card. So that is an excellent feature. Overall, we feel that the Xperia SP is a great device. It adds a lot of value for money within the device itself. It is nicely built, extremely well built. You do have a nice fitting form factor. The only thing that bothers with the form factor is the edges of the screen that seem to be slightly sharp and slightly uncomfortable for usage. But overall, the build quality itself is great. Tactile buttons, overall great performance from the device, and a great value for money package from Sony. You have Android 4.1 out of the box. Hopefully an upgrade to 4.2 will be available from Sony soon enough. And in terms of battery life, we got a good day's use. With over 4.5 hours of talk time. And in terms of music playability, we got about 10 hours of music playback from the Xperia SP. So we are overall very happy with the experience from the Xperia SP. Overall great device from Sony, and packs in a lot of features. So if you are in the market for a device which gives you a total package, the Xperia SP could be one of your options. The only things that we don't like is the lack of a nice front-facing camera. You also cannot initiate video calls from the main dialer. So if you are one of those who likes to make video calls, you can't do that. You can use the front camera for Skype and other VoIP services, but you can't use it for video calls over 3G. Voice quality from the speaker as well as the microphone is great for calls, and overall in terms of phones, networks, the phone works great. Of course, you can download tons and tons of applications from the Google Play Store, apart from a bunch of applications that Sony does include, including some track ID, which is like Shazam. You have a movie studio that lets you edit some movies. You have Sony Live, which comes pre-installed. You also have Evernote, LinkedIn, and PhoneClay, a bunch of apps that are pre-installed. You also have App Extra that is from Sony that allows you to download some apps. So there you go, guys. If you have any questions or queries, do leave them in the comment section below, or on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. You can watch the full detailed review on iGyaan.in, and make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/iGyaan, youtube.com/iGyaan TV. For iGyaan Network, this has been Bharat Nagpal. Thank you guys for watching.